Hello, everybody. Welcome to Premier League predictions for round 30. We have a rare midweek round in the Premier League. So Mikey and I are here early in the week. Quick little bit of housekeeping. We are recording this before we know what has happened in the FA Cup, which Mikey and I predicted at the back end of last week. So I do not have a score update for you, which is probably good news for me because I've probably sucked again and lost again, and it's getting more and more embarrassing. But you never know. It could be the opposite in the space-time continuum that you guys live in.
We might have Preston and Bournemouth in the FA Cup semi-finals, Ben, and you might be clawing your way back in this prediction race against me.
The Ben Pearson derby, that would be Preston and Bournemouth, wouldn't it? Welcome, Mikey. Let's get straight into this midweek round 30 in the Premier League. Fixtures down there in the description, so copy and paste as normal. We love to hear your predictions far more than we love you having a go at ours. So get in there, get involved. Give yourself 1 point for a correct score. Give yourself 3 points for a correct score line. So correct outcome for 1 point, correct score line for 3. And a bonus point if you get the correct score line and it has got 5 or more goals. Mikey, you're up first. It's Arsenal, Fulham. And Fulham are going to have played at the weekend and Arsenal aren't.
Yeah, weekend off for Arsenal, whereas Fulham playing the early game against Crystal Palace. So plenty of time to recover for them. They're at home. And obviously this is a London game, so they presumably sleep in their own beds before this one. Arsenal have a ridiculous record at home against Fulham, Ben. You'd expect them to usually come out on top, but they've never lost in 31 home league games against Fulham. Can you believe that? Ever. 24 wins, 7 draws. And that's the most games played without a loss for a Premier League team. But Arsenal probably have all eyes on the UEFA Champions League. They're safely up in second spot. They're going to get enough points to finish second. Who knows what's going to happen against Palace for Fulham? They might have all of their eyes on the FA Cup, and they might rest a few players here. But it's a big game for the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe. I think this will be his first time returning to the Emirates, and of course Alex Iwobi. He's been back a few times at a couple of different clubs, but always a big game for him playing away at Arsenal. This will be entertaining, but I think Arsenal have just got too much, and they're going to keep that ridiculous record going. That's going to extend to 32 unbeaten games against Fulham. I'm going Arsenal 2, Fulham 0.
Yeah, I'm not going to sharpen my pen for an away win. I think there's just too many advantages for Arsenal. You just listed about 7 of them, and that's not even to mention that they have better players and a bigger squad. No offense to the excellent job Marco Silva and Fulham have done this season. You've taken the 2-0, which I quite like, but I was going to go with, ladies and gentlemen, pray silence for the great George Graham, 1-0 to the Arsenal in this one. Wolves versus West Ham. This is 16th versus 17th, Mikey, but there's bloody 8 points between the two of them. I know what I want to happen. It's the hope that kills you, isn't it? But I don't think it's going to happen. Spoiler alert, I'd quite like West Ham to win. I don't think they're going to win. No Cunha, no party. And he did get, we were speculating on this, an extra game, whether Ipswich will be able to leverage that in any way possible, given their pathetic record of not leveraging anything in big games this season. I doubt. But I think West Ham get a point here, Mikey. I got a bob on for a 1-1 West Ham draw. I'm going to repeat the same trick, and I'm going to say Wolves 1, West Ham 1.
Okay, that's a scribble for me in the Craig Dawson derby. I'm going to change it, and I think this will be my first 0-0 prediction of the entire season, Ben. I'm going Wolves 0, West Ham 0.
Boring, Mikey. You and your nil effing nils, hey?
Not one for the neutrals, this on paper, but you never know. Wolves lost this fixture 2-1 last season, but they haven't lost 2 home games in a row against West Ham since the 1920s. David Diamond wasn't even thought of back then, Ben. They've had 10 points from their last 6 games, edging towards survival. They'll happily take a point. I think Graham Potter would be happy with a clean sheet and a point as well.
Nottingham Forest versus Man United. And again, housekeeping, we don't know what Forest did in the Cup quarter-final.
We don't know. Bit of nostalgia here, Ben. Memories of an 8-1 win for that fantastic Manchester United team in 1999. 4 goals off the bench for for Ole Gunnar
in
Solskjaer.
10 minutes.
Something like that. It was
and
insane.
if you wanted to make that even better, Barry Davies is commentating.
Yeah,
so good.
I remember watching this one on a Sunday morning on Match of the Day.
Absolute
wow,
goat.
this is ridiculous. But yeah, United a different team now, aren't they? But they did follow a goodish performance against Arsenal, that 1-1 draw with an easy win at Leicester. Bruno Fernandes is in sparkling form. Forest in FA Cup action is that on the Sunday, that one? So no, it's Saturday, isn't it? But this is a Tuesday night game, so not a huge amount of time to recover. As I mentioned in the FA Cup predictions, there's a question mark over Chris Wood's availability, but I imagine he'll be back for this one. I think both teams would be happy with a point in this one, so I've gone for 1-1 in this one.
I'm going to take Forest to win this one 1-0 in a very foresty fashion. It is a hard one to call when you don't know. If we get the team sheet on Saturday for the Cup and it's a 1B team for Forest, then my expectations of them winning this game go up significantly, because as you suggested in the Cup show, they really want that Champions League spot and they've got to leverage these home games. I just feel, Mikey, whatever happens, given the information you and I have, Forest are better than Man United. So I'm just gonna go with that as my overriding logic, and move on to Bournemouth versus Ipswich, which we're moving also on to Wednesday, April 2nd here. Now, Bournemouth, if my prediction is correct, are coming off a famous win against Man City in the FA Cup. And their players have been on a 3-night bender. They might have picked up some knocks and stuff in their heroic victory over Manchester City. They're going to be distracted. They're going to be tired. Professor Kieran McKenna has been hatching a battle plan for this game for the longest time. Who's that guy who's really good at fullback for Bournemouth? He's gonna stop him. Kirkes, thank you. And just to keep myself happy, I'm going to predict an Ipswich win, as ridiculous as that seems. Thank you. Bournemouth 1, Ipswich 2, Bournemouth 31 shots.
31 shots. Wow. So yeah. An important game for our goalkeeper in this one. This is role reverse, isn't it, from earlier on in the season, Ben? I'm just going to be sensible here and go for a Bournemouth home win. I can see them winning this one 3-1. First trip to Bournemouth, can you believe, for Ipswich since 2014, where Teddy Bishop scored his first Ipswich goal. It's crazy, isn't it? You'd have thought we'd have crossed over at some point.
Lincoln?
He was at Lincoln last season. I think he might be at Cambridge now, but possibly wrong on that one. Get in the comments if you know where Teddy Bishop is. Bournemouth haven't doubled Ipswich since 1950, when we were both playing in
Colchester.
Division 2 South or something like that. So Ipswich have had I'm going to try and clutch at some straws here. Ipswich have had some time on the training ground, and it was a really good week for our players on international duty. Enciso scored for Paraguay.
Banger.
A really good goal, that one away at Colombia, I think.
It's real quiz.
That is the real quiz. And Cameron Burgess got
get Premier League points for that.
For Australia. I think he might have a chance of being in the first 11 in this one. I'd like to see him back. George Hurst made his Scotland debut off the bench. And Jaden Philogene and Amari Hutchinson both scored. And Liam Delap, I believe, scored as well, didn't he? He did, across the two England under-21s games. So a really good one. And I was at the Ipswich training ground filming something last week. And even early last week, Ben, Ipswich was still training late, even though there was only 10 of them, I believe, on the training ground. They were still doing extra training, which meant they were slightly late for filming. So maybe a good sign there that Ipswich are having all of that time with Kieran McKenna on the training ground. And I feel bad for going through this prediction, but yeah, I still see Bournemouth winning this one.
Yeah, you should.
Blue Monday is proudly brought to you in partnership with our friends at Atwell Solicitors, your ideal legal partner for work on property or business law. Their client care has repeatedly been recognised as outstanding, and they are people-focused with a plain English approach, which sets them apart. They have offices in Ipswich, Colchester and London, and to find out more, head to atwells.com.
Brighton versus Villa. Again, both sides in the cup. I think Mikey went for both of them to win and I went for both of them to lose.
Yeah. I've already waxed lyrical about Brighton in the FA Cup. This has been their best run of form under Hertzler. Obviously, the elephant in the room is those FA Cup games, as you mentioned, but they're in the same boat, aren't they? So maybe we don't have to worry about that too much in this one. Brighton just 2 points off Chelsea in fourth and in much better form than Chelsea, so they'll fancy their chances of reeling them in. Villa can leapfrog Brighton with a win here, though, so there's that incentive for them. That being said, I went for Brighton to win in the FA Cup, and I'm backing them to win in the league here as well. I'm going for a 2-1 win for the Seagulls.
I'm going to take a 1-1 draw, Mikey. Part of it is me hedging my bets and not wanting to call double defeats across this recording session that we're doing right now. It's a bit of a nuisance scheduling, isn't it? Because it's almost like you mentioned on the Cup show, Villa and the focus on the Champions League bits and bobs, and the FA Cup for both of the sides as well. And it's like, do we really want to play this game in the middle of this week? Well, no, not really, essentially. So I'll just go for a 1-1, which I think they would both be happy with. Right, Man City, Leicester. In my head, this can only be a massive home win. I cannot fathom Leicester going there and doing something. And I know it became a bit of a bingo card thing, us trying to get a bonus point with a 4-1 Man City home win. And then they kind of had that horrible run in the middle of the season. I think I might go 5-0 in this one, Mikey, because I can't see. I'm really sorry, Leicester fans. I just can't see how this ends well. And especially after Bournemouth's incredible FA Cup win, Man City are going to be annoyed. No silverware. They're just going to pummel the Premier League for the last, whatever it would be, 9 games. So is that a crazy prediction? I'm going 5-0.
It's not a crazy prediction. I'm going for 5-1. City have won 9 of their last 10 games in the Premier League against Leicester, winning their last 6 by an aggregate score of 15-4. And they have a really good record against promoted teams as well, as we found out. What was it? 10 goals against 1 scored for us this season against Manchester City. From an Ipswich perspective, Erling Haaland will be licking his lips for this one, back from international duty. And he always scores at least 2 against Premier League teams as well, doesn't he, for the FPL players? Yeah. So yeah, I'm going Haaland to win. Haaland to score, Man City to win 5-1.
Triple captain, Newcastle versus Brentford. Why can't I think of a derby for this one? Who's played for both?
Ivan Toney was the one that popped into my head. It's a little bit boring, isn't it? Carl Court? Did Carl Court ever play for Brentford?
For Brentford? I'm not sure. Get in the comments who played for both Newcastle and Brentford. I can't
Probably not where we should be starting on this one. I think we should be congratulating the Newcastle fans who watched this channel on winning the Carabao Cup. A fantastic achievement, a brilliant performance in the final, and one that the neutrals could really get behind. Open top bus tour would have just happened this weekend, so a lot of emotion for the Newcastle players, and you imagine they'd be really excited to get back to St James's Park under the lights as well, to play Brentford. Anthony Gordon got injured on international duty, but Harvey Barnes is a really able deputy, isn't he? And he'll be rubbing his hands, thinking, finally I can have a little run in the team on the left wing. He'll back himself to score in this one. Brentford on a ridiculous run of away wins, though, 5 in a row in the Premier League. I think this one will be a step too far, though, so I'm going to go Newcastle 3, Brentford 1.
Yeah, I've got to pay respect to that Brentford winning streak away from home. But I've got the good feeling, momentum, party time home win, same as you, Mikey. So Brentford always score, don't they? So maybe they take the lead and then Newcastle come back and win. So I won't go as heavy as you. I'll go 2-1 and, echo everything Mikey says. There's only there are some fans where if their club doesn't win silverware, it's a surprise. And for like the majority of football fans, it's like the most special thing to win a trophy. You talk to Birmingham fans about beating Arsenal or Wickham or Wigan or Pompey fans as well, and they've both won the FA Cup. It's just bloody brilliant. I know Newcastle are arguably, more apt to do that and a bigger club, but yeah, absolutely superb. Right, Southampton versus Crystal Palace. Are we just having Southampton lose for the rest of the season? Is that a bit boring? Wonder if I can pull a draw out of this one. No, I can't, because we looked at Palace's. No, they're good away from home, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I backed them to win in the FA Cup. Sorry, did you have them winning in extra time?
On penalties.
Yeah, on pens. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Saints fans. Look, there's going to be a random Southampton win that is going to catch everybody out, which I'll try and be in front of. So don't sue me when I predict them to win an away game at a top 6 team. If they've got any left, I assume they have. Southampton 0, Palace 1. So boring. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going Southampton 1, Palace 2. I don't think we have to make too many apologies for Southampton fans, Ben, because they're not predicting themselves to win either.
No, okay.
They still haven't matched Derby's record. That will be in the back of them.
What is that, Mikey? How many?
I think it was 11 points.
Okay. So just need a win.
Yeah. Or 2 draws. Mateta's back, as we mentioned. I've mentioned this a few times as well. I expect Palace to be wearing their yellow kit where they turn into prime Barcelona. So can't look beyond a Crystal Palace win. 2-1.
Liverpool versus Everton. I don't know. Has it got that much on it where Everton look very safe and Liverpool are champions elect?
Yeah,
but
it's
a derby, in the words of Roy Keane.
It is a derby, not quite the same intensity as the Goodison one, but it is under the lights, and there was all of the drama and emotion from the last derby. Liverpool will want to get one over on Everton, won't they? But Everton 9 unbeaten in the league, but drew 5 of the last 6. I think that run started with the 2-2 against Liverpool at Goodison, the rearranged game. Moyes had a really bad record at Anfield as manager in his first spell as Everton manager.
Surprises me.
And Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving, I guess that's an extra narrative. Will he get a good reception from the Liverpool fans in this one? They'll want to finish this season with a flourish, Ben, because that's all they can do now. They've pretty
Victory
much
lap, innit?
They've got it wrapped up, but it's sort of lost a little bit of edge because of being knocked out of the Champions League and the Cups, or losing the Cup final against Newcastle. So, yeah, they'll demand a home win here, and I think they'll get it. Fairly routine. Salah's going to score. Liverpool 2, Everton 0.
I mean, I could see a draw if the intensity is not there. And yeah, just on Trent, I know what football fans are like, and some of their behaviour is less than rational, as we find out in the comments each and every week. But no, if that guy doesn't get paraded out of there at the end of the season, I don't know what the world's coming to. But there you go, absolutely brilliant player, and what a stint. He'll probably come back as well after he's done in Europe, won't he? So yeah, hopefully. Well, look, freedom of speech, you can say what the hell you like, but if I were a Liverpool fan and I were there, I would certainly be applauding him.
I guess it's a difficult one for Liverpool because they see Real Madrid as a rival.
Oh, right. So yeah,
and they see themselves as sort of being on a par. And Trent Alexander-Arnold is a Liverpool lad, isn't he? So I guess it's a little bit more nuanced than that. But you look at the reception that someone like Alexis McAllister would get off Brighton fans, and Liverpool fans would be like, yeah, respect to them. He did a good job for them, played really well for them, and he's made a step up that he wanted to do in his career. Football fans don't always think with that sort of logic, but I think that's how the Trent Alexander-Arnold move should be viewed. And the fact that he's going on a free is more the mistake of the club than anything that Trent Alexander-Arnold has done.
No, I agree. And they're normally a pretty self-aware bunch. They're known, for applauding keepers on and, being pretty fair. So I'm sure they will be. Back to the prediction, though. I could see Everton kind of scrambling a 1-1. Oh, no. Maybe it'll be 1-1. And was that one where Origi scored right at the end? Maybe Liverpool will just, they will get a nice victory lap. Okay, let's go 2-1 Liverpool. I've talked myself out of it. Finally, on Thursday night, it is Chelsea versus Spurs. Mikey, I have not got a Scooby what to do with this. I'm thinking I might just throw a 3-3 out and just be done with it and not even explain. Should we do that?
Yeah,
no
do it, Ben.
3-3.
Yeah, I'm going 3-2 to Chelsea. The reverse fixture was 4-3. I think we're perfectly within our rights to do this.
There we go. Please, in the comments, if you've got any logic for how you think Chelsea or Spurs can go, genuinely, we are all ears over here. Mikey, thank you for joining us. We've done a double recording here, so we will get you updated on the scores on the doors. Hopefully, there'll be time to fit one in before the weekend round in the Premier League. And hopefully, Mikey, I'm going to have got 2 wins and closed up the embarrassing gap, which going into FA Cup round is 14-7. Not great. Get involved in the comments. Enjoy it. Season's winding down now. There's only going to be a handful more of these after this one. And we thank you very much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you back end of next week.